Hopefully you guys are all staying safe on lockdown. I'm stuck here with my friends. Luckily enough, my friends are all at the front of the house. I'm at the back of the house, so there is some quiet, although the neighbours seem to be having some sort of party. So there is some music going on over there, but hopefully you won't hear that, and somebody else over there is cutting some stuff. So all afternoon, it's been deadly quiet. The moment I want to sit down and film some videos, I've got noise outside. But, you know, we will persevere. Normal parish notices: if you haven't subscribed to the channel and you want to subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe icon. If you want to be notified when I post new material to the channel, hit that bell icon. Consider supporting the production of the videos and the channel in general by going over to Patreon. That's www.patreon.com/TheMusicTechGuyUK. The address will be down here somewhere. So, a few weeks ago, I went on a road trip, and the results of that road trip were this S-330 that's sitting behind me. And to be honest, apart from a tertiary switch it on to make sure it works, and I hadn't broken anything on the transport back to here, I haven't done anything with it. Now, today I've actually sat down and I've got it out, and I've properly got a keyboard out, so I've got this Ensoniq SQ2 out, just purely because it happened to be here and I didn't have to move anything around. So I've got this beastie out. So I've been testing both, actually. I've been looking at all the faults that are on this keyboard that need repairing, like that button being stuck that you can't see because it doesn't come across on camera, but that button is actually stuck. And the keyboard itself is reporting low battery, which means we're going to have to put a new battery in it, which of course means that I've got to learn how to actually sysdump the data out of this to be able to put the battery into it. So that's a task for another part of this weekend, is to actually work out how to get the sysx files out of this thing. But this video is about this. And I've been playing around with this for the last couple of hours, actually, before I set the cameras up. And now I've set the cameras up, you can actually see what's going on that screen, and I'll just play random notes on the keyboard, and you can hear the sounds that this thing pumps out. So, here we go, another 2-camera experiment. Right. So, when the S-330 switches on, there is absolutely nothing in the memory. It needs an operating system, and like all the samplers of this time, the operating system comes on a 3.5-inch floppy disk. And the guy who gave me this machine gave me 2 utility disks. In fact, he's actually given me 3, but I'm not quite sure about the third one at the moment, because the third one says W30 on it. So I'm not sure that is actually the utility disk for this machine. He might have had a W30 at some point. So I need to do some checking up on that. This is the original one that came with the unit, which is version 1.0. And this is the version that he said we should really be using, which is version 1.01. So put that back in the box. And in order to load the operating system, you don't actually have to do anything. You just pop the disk in, and it takes about 30 seconds or so to load the operating system. Okay, that's the operating system loaded. You take the disk out. Now, one of the things that you really need with this thing is you need the mouse. So if you get one of these samplers and you don't get the mouse, you probably need to go onto Reverb or eBay or somewhere like that and find yourself one of these. Alternatively, you can get an adapter, and I've seen the adapters for use of a normal USB style PS2 mouse. The problem with that is that you can't see it very well on here, but that's where the mouse jacks into the S-330, and the piece of kit that has to go in between that and a PS2 mouse is about that long, and it's going to put strain effectively on that socket, which is why I don't like the designs they've got at the moment. Really what I'd like to see is I'd like to see a cable with the PS2 adapter actually in the cable length rather than as a circuit board that attaches to the unit itself, because I just think that puts too much strain on that front jack, and we all know that if a jack gets strained it will pull itself out of the board or potentially could break its connection on the board. Not a great idea. Anyway, now we're looking at the S330 and you're looking at the screen. Again, you can do all this through the menu using the buttons on the front, but believe you me, if you do buy one of these things, you want to buy, or you want to go and get a second-hand TV or monitor or something that can handle either SCART or composite video. This is currently running in using composite video. I do have a SCART adapter. Unfortunately, the SCART adapter is in storage with the rest of everything else, so I can't show you this in colour because it would normally come up with a blue background and white writing on a blue background, and various bits of yellow, so it seemed to be the Roland colours for doing this thing. But I don't have that adapter with me, so we're going to run it composite, which at the moment seems to be fine. I can read it. It's all in black and white or grey tones, so I'm quite happy with that. The other thing you'll notice about when you load it up, this thing is completely empty. Okay, there are no tones in this unit when you put the utility disc in. Everything you do has to come from disk. So the guy who sold this to me with lots and lots of discs. In fact, he sold them to me with 4 boxes of discs, if I'm brutally honest. And I've probably got a disc for everything. Now, what he was doing, he said that there were discs for everything. Many of them he sampled himself. But this one I've just picked randomly is a LINN Drum. So I'm going to put that in there and let's see what this comes up with. So the way you load this thing is you go mode, disk, load, load set, and it takes about 60 seconds or thereabouts to load up. As you can see, it's counting down on screen at the moment. And I have to be honest and say this is the first time I've actually loaded this disc, so I have no idea what's on it. So now what I need to go is to play mode. So I go mode and play, and as you can see, I've got a whole bunch of samples in there for playing. So if I hit, that sounds like a gated. You get the drift. Now, one of the things I am struggling a little bit with at the moment is I grabbed out of storage here my SQ2. Now, I am in the process of understanding what needs to work on it, or what needs to happen on SQ2, or on this SQ2 to make it fully functional again. Like you can't see on camera, but the 3 key is depressed in a way that it's not allowing me to select bank 3. And the other thing I couldn't suss out for the last couple of hours of playing with it, in the end I got to the point where I thought, well, I'm going to work it out, but I will work it out at some other point because I wanted to play with this thing, is how to change the MIDI send channel on the SQ1. Every time I make a change to it, everything stops working. So I'm obviously doing something wrong at the moment. I just no idea what it is. So it's easier at the moment to change the MIDI channel on this unit here to change patch. So what I need to do is go there, change that, and I can change that to channel 2 and change that to channel 1. Now, the S330 allows you to load multiple wave samples into the memory as long as they don't exceed the maximum length that the memory can handle. And typically these tend to be 8 patches per disc. That seems to be sort of the stock. All the discs that come out from the manufacturer at the time all seem to be up to 8 samples. And each one of those samples, when it loads in, is associated with a different MIDI channel. So it starts at 1, it goes through to 8. That's typically how these things have been built. And all I'm doing here is changing the channel, the receiving channel of the various patch, and therefore I can then play it on the keyboard. Like that. Let's take one out. Put in the combi drum, see what that sounds like. Quite good, gated sound. So that's just one of the drum discs that's been given to me. If we go forward through this a little bit further, I've got lots of drums. This one says house drum loop. Let's try loading that up, shall we? And again, a few minutes to wait. It is Easter. Look at that, about the time it took me to chomp a Cadbury's mini egg. So let's go across mode and into play. And I have no idea what this is all about. Classic drum loop. So let's see what else we got here. This is meant to be a Juno 4 bass. I've never had a Juno 4, so I don't know whether that's a representative sound or not, but it sounds pretty cool. Let's put that one back, and let's go for a rough piano, whatever a rough piano is. Sounds a bit detuned. Okay, let's take that one out. Let's have a look at kit 1. What's kit 1 all about? Standard kit. And let's have a look and see what channel 7's all about. That's got that classic. Used to be heard all over 80s dance music. Pretty cool. Okay, so that's just a couple of samples from this massive sample library that I've got. Now, I've also got the Roland disc libraries. And these things all work with this sampler too. So the first one I've just picked at random from here is electric piano and vibe. Let's go and have a look and see what this is all about. Back into play mode, and this is an electric piano. That's an electric piano. So look, turn it off, and let's go up to whatever that vibe hard is. Now with the factory discs, you have to change the mode, like so. Yep, that's a vibe. Okay, let's try something different. And over here I've got Italian strings. Now I'm not sure whether this one will load straight off bat without running the conversion, which I haven't quite mastered at the moment. Let's have a look and see if this one will work. No, that one's not going to load. Now apparently what you have to do is you have to run a conversion process on the disk to allow it to be read by the S-330 if it was originally formatted for the S-50. So I will get around to doing that, but I'm not going to do it now because I haven't worked out what the process is yet. So here is another bunch of discs. What have we got here? This is Eastern Flavour. Okay. Okay, it's loaded. Go into play mode again. I have no idea what this instrument is. Wood, glockenspiel type instrument by the sound of it. Okay, that's interesting. Let's turn on. Let's go back up here. Sorry. Cool. That's it. Turn you off. And turn you off. And try one of these. Some sort of steel guitar type sound with a bell. Right, let's turn you off. Let's go for one of these, see what this sounds like. Interesting. So that's Eastern Flavour. And what else we got over here on these discs? Got an organ. Oh, there they are. There's an organ. Now, the one thing about most of these discs that I'm loading up onto this thing is it's probably the first time I've loaded them up. I've loaded a couple of the samples from the box that I received up, but these discs I haven't loaded up at all. So this is all completely new to me as well. Okay, let's go back into play mode. There you go. It's a positive organ. And that sounds like an organ. Let's change. Move that up. Move that down to. That also sounds like an organ, but more of a church organ. Let's give it a wide chord. Very much a church organ. It says it's got choirs on here as well. Let's have a look at the choir. And let's go for a positive and, sorry, not a positive and a choir, which is this one, sorry. Okay, that's church. I didn't quite intend to go on this long, but what I will say for those of you out there that are looking at sample technology, for what this would cost you in terms of buying ability and, you know, the samples that are out there for it, you get a very, very good quality sound, despite the fact this is not 24-bit sampled. But if you're playing around in your home studio and you want something to sample and to play back samples on, this machine here behind me is not a bad investment. And as I said in the video where I bought it, brand new, these things were about £1,400, $1,400, whatever it was. And here we are now. You can pick one of these up for about 100 quid, £150 top whack, and you get a lot of sampler for your money. Anyway, until next time, as I say, live long and prosper.